You're watching WHTM 27, live from a station working for you. This is WHTM News Center.
Penn State fans hold their breath during today's game against the Buckeyes. Local hunters speak out against a new move by gun makers, and a Mid-State Festival is bringing everyone a little closer together. Good evening, I'm Valerie Pritchett. Thank you for joining us. Nearly 100,000 fans are starting to make their way home from Happy Valley tonight, and boy, do they have something to be happy about. Joining me now is Greg Mace. What a game. It was close.
That's what we expected to see. I mean, it was just a terrific, well-played game, and I think this was just everything we expected to see all week long. Well-played, close game, and now Penn State has taken a big step toward the Rose Bowl and a run at the national championship. Here's the key play in the game. Penn State's down 27-24 in the fourth, and Curtis Enos with a clutch run right there makes everybody happy, including Joe Paterno. 31-27 is the final. You can imagine what it's like outside Beaver Stadium. That's where Dennis Owens joined us live. Dennis?
Greg, I have found some Harrisburg tailgaters. Not that that's too hard. A great, great day up here at State College. Now, the last time Penn State hosted a top 10 team 5 years ago when they hosted Miami, and Miami beat them that day. Now, Pittsburgh and Temple are something interesting. Whenever Penn State plays, it's interesting, but Ohio State is truly something special.
Programs, $3 each, Penn State football, programs.
You can't find a ticket anywhere. I had 5 calls on people on Thursday asking me if I had extra tickets. I says, no, we're using them all today.
Move over, Notre Dame and Miami. Fans of Penn State have a new team to hate.
Or OH10, the Buckeyes.
Hey, we've been at Ohio State for all our games, and we want to win this game more than any game since maybe Miami. We just plain not crazy about them.
I enjoy every game, absolutely every one. But this one today is just very, very special.
Special because these fans watched in horror as Ohio State defeated Penn State 3 of the last 4. Special because it's the first test of the year for Penn State. And special because the national spotlight has fallen on State College.
This is a big one. I think it's the biggest game we'll have this year. They make this and they walk home.
Penn State!
Not everybody is Penn State proud.
Go Buckeyes!
Scott Breckdeal is from New Cumberland. He goes to Ohio State.
I'm just going to keep the fact quiet that I'm from Central Pennsylvania, so they don't need to know that.
A lot of guys I work with are Ohio State fans, so we have a lot of bets going on today back and forth, so that's the biggest game.
So your financial well-being hinges on a Penn State victory?
Today, yes. A few lunches.
And he is going to eat well next week because Penn State is victorious today against Ohio State. Camp Hill's John Gleiss joins me as a Penn State fan. Penn State has lost 3 of the last 4 to Ohio State. What does this victory mean?
Well, it means we're going to the Rose Bowl and the national championship, of course.
Oh, just like that, huh?
Yeah, right. That's our ticket in.
Okay, Greg, we're going to come back in just a little bit. We're going to have post-game reaction after this thrilling victory, but an outstanding game here. We'll be back in sports in about 10 minutes or so. For now, let's go back to you.
All right, we're also going to join Ellen Kaloje. Ellen, obviously, Dennis is pretty lucky. He had a ticket. This was one of the toughest tickets around, taken away from Camp Hill.
Absolutely, Greg. We all know how impossible it is to get those tickets. A lot of people decided to go to Happy Valley to watch the game there. It's very loud in here. You can see we have a big mix of fans, and everyone is fired up.
And I'll tell you what, it's been a great game. Penn State, Ohio State, back and forth. I mean, 7-3.
This is the Super Bowl of the college right now.
Yeah.
The Super Bowl of college football, and fans on both sides are ready to rumble. Check out these guys. They love Ohio State and the Cleveland Indians, a pretty unpopular combination in these parts.
Oh, I love their team. I'm from Ohio. Come on.
Feel out of place here?
Not at all. No.
Actually, I feel more in place being the opposition. Like a little competition.
It's fun, though.
Fierce competition?
Big time, yeah. It's a great game, though. I'm a little nervous.
I love Penn State. I've been a fan ever since I've been born and raised in Pennsylvania. I'm a Pennsylvania football team fan.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Good answer.
Pittsburgh, whatever. I'm Pennsylvania football team fan.
Steelers.
Got it.
I would bet right now that if Ohio State loses, then Ari here is going to do 100 push-ups.
If Penn State loses, she has to do 100.
Right here in the bar. I'm not going to end up doing push-ups. It's going to be Ari. Okay, here's Ari doing the push-ups. Here he goes. So a lot of happy Penn State fans here out at Kokomo's. Back to you, Greg.
All right, Ellen, thanks a lot, and keep watching those guys do those push-ups.
Okay.
Ellen Felice live over at Kokomo's in Camp Hill, and Val, great game. I'm telling you what, the Penn State fans are excited. Remember, there's still a long way to go. We're still only at the midway point in the season. So Dennis will be back in a few minutes. We'll hear from Joe Paterno coming up and show you all the highlights.
Great, thanks, Greg. You know, it was definitely a picture-perfect day for today's game. So can we look forward to more of the same weather?
Yes, you
sure?
can.
Okay,
yes.
let me hear about
It's
it.
fall, it's cool. It may not be as warm as last weekend, but you're going to love it because satellite sequence really had very few clouds across much of the Northeast. We've had the sunshine around today. We'll have the clear skies tonight, some clouds around New England, but don't worry about that. One thing we will start noticing is, hey, temperatures are not as warm as what we've had before. At this hour, we're in the lower 60s, and those temperatures will continue to drop down as the night goes on. How far? Well, take a look. As we go into our forecast details through the evening hours, for the morning outlook, I think not. I'll just say for the evening hours are going to be clear and cool. Temperatures this evening will be dropping rapidly through the 50s, but come tomorrow morning, we'll be in the middle 40s and more cold air in sight after that. And I'll also have the fall foliage for...
Oh, great. I saw some of the leaves up on the mountains. They look beautiful, so I can't wait to hear it. Right.
Wait, they'll come down here.
They'll come down here?
Gravity.
Come to me. Thanks, Rob.
Okay.
A fatal crash in Lancaster County kills a man and his 2 children. It happened at the intersection of Scotland Road and Lancaster Pike in Drumore Township. Police say Vasily Novik's car was hit by 2 others after he drove through a stop sign. The crash killed his 3-year-old son and his 4-year-old daughter. His other 2 children were also injured in the crash. They are listed in critical condition. Investigators in Argentina say bad weather may have caused a plane crash that killed 75 people. The DC-9 went down in Uruguay last night. The plane crashed as it changed course to avoid stormy weather. One victim is Swiss. The others are from Argentina. Here's an update on the story we told you about last night. Investigators have now ruled a death in Harrisburg a suicide. The body was found inside a house on 6th Street. At first, police believe the death was suspicious. Some local hunters are upset about a plan to put safety locks on guns. 8 of the top 10 gun makers have voluntarily agreed to put child safety locks on their guns. Many say the move will cut down on the number of children killed by guns each year. But others say the plan's a waste of time and it's up to the parents to educate their children.
Well, we've taught them to be respectful and never point the gun at anybody because you don't know if it's loaded or not. We've never kept them locked up or anything because it's our responsibility as parents to watch over them and make sure they don't get at them.
It would be sort of senseless to have a weapon with a lock on it for a defensive weapon, for home defense.
Every year, 1,500 children are wounded in gun accidents. Nearly 200 of them die. Police in Indiana say a suspect has turned himself in after a fatal shooting at a high school football game. An 18-year-old girl was killed during the game last night in Gary, Indiana. Police say the victim was apparently the intended target. Another teenager sustained minor injuries in the shooting. A 10-year-old Massachusetts boy is being buried today. Jeffrey Curley's body was found in a Maine river earlier this week. Investigators say he was abducted from his home, murdered, and sexually abused. Police arrested 2 men on kidnapping and murder charges. President Clinton is launching a new campaign to fight the use of drugs by teenagers. The president says although overall drug use has declined, drug use among 13 and 14-year-olds has almost tripled. He's asking everyone to spread the word about the dangers of drugs.
Never glorify drugs, but more important, tell our children the truth. Show them that drug use is really a death sentence. Use the power of your voice to teach our children and to help shape our nation's future.
The $195 million anti-drug campaign will use television, the internet, and sports marketing to spread the message. When WHTM News Center continues, it's a spiritual fair to spread the faith among all religions. We'll take you there. Plus, it's a hands-on safety lesson during a special Mid-State Festival. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Michael, you're going to be late for work. No. You know, we're just looking out for you. It's important to be prompt. All right. Hey, don't forget your hat. Oh, thanks, Dad.
We love you.
I love you too.
Thanks for waiting.
You know Pizza Hut gives you 50% more toppings than Domino's. Now a medium's just $8.99 and a second's $5.
Dad, I forgot my phone.
Get more from Pizza Hut. 50% more toppings than Domino's. And now you can even charge it.
Only one television station in central Pennsylvania has experience you can count on. Rick Wagner, Alicia Richards, Greg Miggs, and Chuck Rhodes together have been covering your community for over 60 years. Because what matters to you matters to them. Turn to the team with experience on their side. WHTM News Center, working for you. For breaking news, call the station working for you. 1-800-PHONE-WHTM.
A real roast beef sandwich at Hardee's. It's slow roasted in the oven. Then Hardee's slices it real thin and piles it real high. And now Hardee's real roast beef sandwiches are even better because you can get 2 for only $2. If you're craving a really good roast beef sandwich at a really good price, you really want 2 real roast beef sandwiches for $2. Only at Hardee's.
This fall, there's a new magazine on newsstands. It's called Central PA. It's about scrapple and ballet and baseball and tomatoes and Mozart and wild forsythia and snow angels and trout and Shakespeare and people who carve and build and dance and plant and love and play. It's about what's happening all month long, about local restaurants, about how and where you live, about you, about here, about time. Central PA, at the heart of it.
You're watching WHTM News Center at 6 with Valerie Pritchett, Rob Dixon, and Dennis Owens. The news team working for you.
People of all religions are coming together for a day of prayer in the Mid-State. They call it Bridging the Gap Outreach 97. The Pennsylvania chapter of March for Jesus is holding this special rally at the Camp Curtin Elementary School.
Well, the whole idea behind the event was actually to reach out to people that are probably in positions that could use a little, help.
Look at the book. There were also games, music, and crafts on this special day of worship. Some kids are learning a few important lessons that could save their lives. Tri-County Elementary School is hosting its second annual Health and Safety Fair. Kids are getting an up-close look at fire engines and safety gear. Organizers say kids should know what to do in case of an emergency.
Well, I hope that they go and know what would happen in case an emergency would come up, or who to contact people with all the literature that went out today.
Many of the 50 vendors at today's fair offered free health screenings. It's time to return to the reality of sunny, cool fall weather. Rob Dixon is back with our forecast next. And later, it's a big contest for a big appetite. Stay tuned.
Listen, when I look at this car, it's the same way as if I'm looking at myself. You have to physically touch things. You have to use your visual senses. You smell. This is our AC sniffer. Listen, tings and dings and clicks and clacks, a buzz, a hum, a clink, a tick, an annoying anything that people normally wouldn't hear, I have to hear. It's not easy being me. I would say I'm the most critical person in the plant.
Welcome to American Appliance.
And save big on Panasonic during the Columbus Day weekend celebration.
Wonderful selection. All my stuff comes from American Appliance.
This Panasonic 4-head stereo VCR with VCR Plus is just $199. This Panasonic VHS CPOM quarter with color viewfinder just $478. A big screen 32-inch Panasonic stereo color TV with picture-in-picture $699.
I tried my darndest to find it cheaper somewhere else, but I couldn't do it.
Great buys through Monday at American Appliance.
Holy cow! The market dropped big time. Better call my broker and put in a buy order.
You never did follow the crowd, JT. Is that why you're having breakfast for dinner?
Logistics, Cliff. I deliver papers at dawn. No time for breakfast. So, I eat it for dinner.
Try IHOP's best of the best breakfast. Pancakes with strawberry, blueberry, or cinnamon apple topping, eggs, bacon, sausage, ham, and hash browns, just $2.99.
I'll explain supply and demand, but this is the last time.
IHOP welcomes the American Express card.
Miss Fletcher, it looks like you've got 12 months.
12 months to live?
No, 12 months to pay for your new Big Sur waterbed.
Right now at Big Sur Waterbeds, buy that beautiful new waterbed or bedroom you've always wanted and make no down payment, pay no interest, and make no payments for 12 months.
Now, about these x-rays.
Big Sur Waterbeds, America's largest waterbed retailer.
Rescue workers continue to search for victims after Hurricane Pauline destroyed homes and villages in Mexico. At least 140 people lost their lives to the storm near the resort city of Acapulco. Authorities say the storm has destroyed tens of thousands of homes. It's a sad sight down there. Fortunately for us, we don't have weather like this.
Yeah, it's been active in the Pacific, very quiet in the Atlantic, and we're on the right side because we just have nice fall weather finally. After having a fairly long period of temperatures in the 80s, now we start looking at fall, and with fall, of course, comes fall foliage. So I thought we'd show you where the peak colors are right now, and right now across the northern tier of the state, that's where 95% of full colors are emerging. Meanwhile, we're seeing a little bit less out through the western part of the state with about 80% full colors here. Give it a little more time. We're only at around the 25% mark. Now, as far as the dates, of course, up to the north, that's the time right now to enjoy the full fall colors. Meanwhile, just wait a couple of more days through the central and western parts of the state and around our neck of the woods. It's only about a week away. I think the dry weather that we've had through the summer and the fall has actually sped up the fall foliage process as we are seeing distressed trees dropping their leaves a little bit earlier. Well, now we're finally getting into at least fall weather. Temperatures across the mid-state have already sagged into the very low 60s, some spots emerging into the upper 50s. We have all the ingredients tonight of the very cool temperatures, clear skies, light winds, and that just brings the temperatures right down. Well, right now, under those clear skies, look where the readings are at this time. Harrisburg's at 64 degrees, York's at 66, Carlisle's at 63, Lancaster 65, and Lebanon's at 66. We also have our winds fairly light out of the west at 7 miles per hour, a relative humidity of 60%. The barometer steady at 30.29 inches, and officially we had no precipitation around 4 today. Well, taking a look at the river stage, we're holding steady at 3.3 feet. That should be the same number for tomorrow. Well, our high temperature today, hey, we got out of the 80s. The high only at 71 degrees. The low at 47, that's actually pretty close to normal when you consider our high is now supposed to be about 67 with a low temperature of 46. So what's going on? Let's show you the satellite sequence. Still very quiet across the eastern U.S. The front that passed through the area yesterday has now worked its way well out in through the Atlantic and through the lower and middle Atlantic states. More moisture is surging up from the western Gulf of Mexico into the southern plain states, and some clouds trying to spill over into the eastern portion of Canada. The main essence is, as we look at the upper winds, a big swath of cold air is now digging its way in through the Rockies. We're still on the upward side. In other words, temperatures still trying to work their way upward a little bit more, but a big crash of temperatures will be happening at the end of the week. Set our map into motion for the next 24 hours with the radar showing the rain coming up through Texas, even some rain across Montana. Some surprising news coming out of the Rockies around Denver. Watch them over the next 24 hours. Yeah, it's getting to be like winter for them. Snow's going to be emerging. We just have an emerging high pressure system across the eastern U.S., but as the high drifts on to the southeast, notice snow starts building in through the Rockies, an early sign of winter, and this major cold front we'll be watching as the week goes on because that will be bringing deep fall weather across the mid-state, just not yet. Tomorrow, highs will only be in the 30s and 40s across the Rockies, and we'll actually still be seeing very mild temperatures, but by the end of the week, some of that cold weather will be coming our way. Now tonight, speaking of cold, clearer and cool tonight, the low temperature dropping down to 45 degrees, and tomorrow will be a sunny and seasonably mild day with a high up to 71. But then tomorrow night, clear and mild with a low temperature of 48, and on Monday, still pleasant. Sunny, high of 73, but on the 5-day outlook, there will be a change in the weather. Temperatures will start taking a tumble. In fact, the risk of rain comes in for Tuesday as the cold front drives in out of the 70s, out of the 60s, by Thursday into the upper 50s. And by the way, the cooler weather is just blasting that pollen count down. Ragweed still the problem pollen, but as you can see, low counts as those temperatures keep getting lower.
Great, thanks, Rob. Coming up, we'll take you back to State College for more on today's